Adam, Manchester United won, Tottenham won. It's our first fan cams after a hell of a long time. Football is back, but what a frustrating game that was, my friend. Calamity errors at the back led to us conceding. And then after that, Tottenham were pretty much, well, actually, Son had a chance after that. But after that was saved well from De Gea, we went on from strength to strength, particularly after half-time. Got a goal back in, created enough chances to be able to win the game, in my opinion. Where do you stand on that?
Missed opportunity, mate. Big time missed opportunity. You know what, mate? I can't. I know it's great having football back and everything, mate, but I'm fuming with that. I just can't let it go, mate. We don't have the killer instinct when we need to be. We wasted so many opportunities there. And I don't mean so many opportunities in terms of chances, but in terms of the starting lineup for one. I talked to it. I've been going on and on and on about round pegs in square holes. And what do? We've got our one holding midfield player in Matic, sat on the bench, and two more round pegs for square holes as holding midfielders. As good as Fred and McTominay have been, they're not in that position. That is not their position. Matic should have played there. It would have given us more control. We had no control over the midfield whatsoever, especially in that first half. Yeah, we had a good first 15 minutes, but we had no control over it. Absolutely no control. We were struggling down our left-hand side with Shaw. Everything that they did came down our left-hand side. And let's not forget, mate, we played that game against 10 men because Kane was a passenger.
Yeah, he was
I'm not having this. Yeah, it's good. We came back. We got the draw. It's not a bad start. It is a bad start. We can't afford to drop any points at all going forward, because if Chelsea win the next game now, what are we? 5 points behind.
5 points.
With 8 games to go. Now Sheffield United becomes a pressure match, because if we lose that, then top four's gone. It's as simple as that. It is gone. We have to beat Sheffield United and hope that Chelsea lose to City after playing Villa. I think they've got City after Villa, which is our only hope going forward. But how crap were Spurs?
Awful, absolutely awful. I mean, was it a question? Let's bring it to Solskjaer. Look, we've got to talk about decisions that have been made, and I don't want to be too hasty, but we have to ask the question. I'm going to ask you: do you think that it was a case of Solskjaer got it wrong? He couldn't find a way to counteract Jose's tactics until Paul Pogba came with a bit of brilliance.
I mean,
or was that unfair because we had chances?
Yeah, I mean, I was laughing, mate, when I seen Dyer playing at the back. I was laughing my ass, but he was their best player, absolutely their best player, until they gave the penalty away. But then it goes to show you, doesn't it? Dan James on the pitch in the first half wasn't the player for me. Paul Pogba comes on in a Dan James position. Look at the difference. Look at the difference straight away.
Dan James had a bad game as well, didn't he? He had an awful game.
That's not Paul Pogba's position. I know that. But he got in the same position. What would Dan James have done in that position? Dan James is a good player. Paul Pogba is a world-class player. He sat on the bench. The game could have been put to bed. Bruno was pulling strings, mate. He was pulling an orchestra. He was pulling an orchestra. He was trying to do that much. As soon as Pogba came on, Spurs did not know where to go. They didn't know how to handle Greenwood on the right. Dan James was easy to defend against. They didn't know how to handle Greenwood. And then you've got Pogba and Bruno. And the link-up play straight away was on a different scale. Straight away, we're seeing Martial getting chances. We're seeing space open up all over the place that wasn't even there before. And it's all because we've got the right players. Yeah, fitness is going to be a bit of an issue, but we all knew that. So in games like this, you need your ballers, the ones who can do that one thing off the cuff that's going to change a game. And Spurs got lucky with their goal. There was a calamity of errors from 3 different phases of that attack. We'll get into that in a second. But going back to us, Paul Pogba comes on. Bruno is the same type of player. You know what I mean? We had chances in that game. We didn't take them. Yeah, Lloris made some good saves, but the control we had over the game when Pogba came on was just on a different level. Absolutely different level.
And that ball he played through to Rashford.
Exactly.
And Rashford obviously couldn't get his touch.
Yeah.
That begs the question there, and I don't want the fan cams to be too repetitive, but this is only the second one. Saeed said, look, I don't care what you say, Solskjaer should have started him, even if he plays the first 65 minutes and then starts blowing, comes off. And he said that if he starts that game, we would have won it. And I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, so I don't always like having black and white, comments like that in terms of making statements like that. But with what he did when he came on, was there an argument then maybe that he should have started the game and then may come off if he was tired?
Mate, he looks like he was. You've talking about a player there who hasn't played for months. Never mind the lockdown. He hasn't played for months, over half a year. He hasn't played and not touched the football in a competitive match. It comes on and he's already streets ahead of everyone else. And you don't get that. Is not a normal player. Normal players don't sit on the bench while McTominay and Fred are in the team in front of them. We can always argue that Fred and McTominay have had really good seasons and are probably our most improved players over the season. But we've not got time to hang around accepting draws. Paul Pogba starts that game. I agree. I do agree. I think we're a different animal straight away, and Spurs wouldn't have been able to hold out. They surrounded Bruno and tried to suffocate him. He kept going deeper and deeper and deeper to get the ball, and he was still making chances, no matter how deep he went. If you're following Bruno out, where does that leave you? Pogba's got space. You can't mark both of them, mate. It's as simple as that. The teams are going to do exactly the same thing. Mourinho's tactics always have been against United for every time he's played us.
Oh, it was so negative. It was proper Mourinho stinking it out, wasn't it?
Give really
him the
ball,
old school vintage Mourinho.
And they will make a mistake. And that's exactly what we did. We just
what do we do, Adam?
Adam,
what do we do? What do we do in terms of looking at this defense? A lot of people highlighting the fact that this is why we always have concerns over Lindelof and Maguire playing together. Look, I don't want to completely forget the 11 games beforehand where we only conceded, 2 goals. That back four has, including De Gea, back five, has been on a good run. It has been on a good run. So I don't want to act like, that doesn't exist anymore. But I was saying at halftime with Mark that when they do concede or when they do make individual errors, it's usually down to a lack of pace or one not complementing the other. Are we eventually going to need to look at that? Do we need to look at that now? Should Bailly come in? Should Tuanzebe come in? Do we look at that now? Or was that just a one-off goal because we only conceded one?
There is a shout for it, mate, because I'm going to break it down from start to finish, that whole move. Mistake number one was Luke Shaw's header. I don't care what people say. He's headed the ball to Marcus Rashford. The easier header was to Fred. Then he goes and follows the ball for some reason instead of sitting back when there's 2 more United players more advanced than him. That's Luke Shaw's mistake, giving the ball away. Mistake number 2 is obvious, and everyone knows how good I think Maguire is and how highly I rate Maguire. But I'm not one of these players who's going to defend. I'm not one of these men who's going to defend a player just because I like him. And there's going to be a lot of that going on tonight. Maguire was completely at fault. He got himself completely wrong-footed and lost it completely and was completely out of the game. Mistake number 3, which not a lot of people have picked up on, is Victor Lindelof not anticipating the player coming inside and getting across quick enough. Is another defender there next to him going to read that better? Because the biggest part about playing at centre-half, and I've played it all my life, and I'm not the highest level like a lot of these players are, but the first thing you are taught is to read the game, read the danger. You have to be able to see the danger before it happens. And that was in slow motion for him because Maguire was still trying to get back. So where is Lindelof? You close the ball first. Mistake number 4, David De Gea. How many times I've gone on and on and on. He has to change his game. He's not got Smalling and Jones in front of him anymore. He's not going to have shooting practice every single game now. He's going to get 1 or 2 chances for the opposition. He has to be alive. He has to be alive. And he's not. He's done another mistake. The ball is straight at him. And he's palmed it up into the goal. They had 1 attack. And then all of a sudden, they look like world beaters then. The tails are up. They were dead on the feet. And I'll go back to it again. They played with 10 men. With Harry Kane being completely out of that game. The defence, I do feel like, you know what everyone would say, with 8 games to go, is it a time to think about changing things now? Like you said, Den, that's 12 games in a row. We've conceded 3 goals in them 12 games. We've not been beaten. So there's a good argument that is rusty. They've all got a part to play in that. Nearly the whole defence, apart from Bazaka, had an issue in that goal. But 3 goals conceded in 12 games. We've had some good teams in that game. You know what I mean, mate?
And that's what I'm saying about the bigger picture. Yeah. It's hard because we've had 3 months off. Just to finish off, Adam, who was your man of the match, and do you still think top 4 is achievable? Very quickly.
I do think top 4 is achievable. Yes, depends on how Chelsea do, obviously. But man of the match by a country mile was Bruno Fernandes. The guy's energy, he's put other players to shame there. He ran the show from the first minute. Even when he was being outnumbered, he still found time, space to control that game. Superb.
Wow, Saeed went with Pogba. I think it's going to be a mixed bag between Pogba and Bruno, but Bruno was obviously on the pitch longer and did do really well. Adam, take care, mate. I will see you in the player ratings, yeah? See you later.
Yeah, mate. See you in a bit.
All right, nice one.
Bye-bye.